Hello students, I hope you all are watching my videos. So in my last class, we were discussing about the immunity, types of immunity, what are the barriers are present in the immune system. Clear? So in that, today we'll quickly revise those previous slides. That is immunity. As we know that the immunity refers to, it is the overall ability of the body to fight the disease causing organisms or microorganisms is simply called as immunity, or else the resistance of the body against the pathogen or disease is also called as immunity. Okay. In our body there are two types of immunity. One is innate immunity and one more is acquired immunity. As I told you, the innate refers to the immunity, it is present from the birth. Clear? And the acquired immunity refers to we will develop it after the birth, is considered as acquired immunity. So we also discussed about innate immunity. That innate immunity is also called as non-specific immunity. As I told you, innate immunity refers to the immunity which is present at the time of birth, and one more is non-specific. Why it is called as non-specific? Because it is not specific in its action. The word action refers to, this immunity refers to, it is going to prevent the entry of microbe into the body, isn't it? So however it is trying its best to prevent the entry of microbes into the body, so that in that it is not specific in its action. That is, it never ever concerned with whether it is a bacteria, whether it is a virus or protozoan helminthes, never. So that whatever it may be, once it is considered as a non-self, or once it is considered as a foreign particle or substance, it is going to prevent that entry. Hence it is considered as non-specific. That is, it is present from the time of birth and it is not specific in its action, hence the name, that is non-specific immunity. It provides 4 different types of barriers. Here the word barriers refers to however it is going to prevent by make use of some strategy. So those kind of strategies are considered as barriers. So those 4 barriers are, one is physical barriers, second one physiological barriers, third one cellular barriers, and fourth one is cytokine barriers. So in my last class we were discussing about physical barriers and physiological barriers. Very simple. So the physical barriers means which includes 2 things. One is skin and mucus. So as you know that skin is the largest organ in our body, so which is present throughout, which covers throughout our body. I mean whole body organs are covered by the skin. At the same time, when we expose to the environment, most of the organisms may be sit on our skin, so that that time our skin acts as a barrier which is going to prevent that entry of microbe into the body. I hope you understand. So that skin is come under physical barrier. And one more is mucus. So in our body, the respiratory system, the urinary tract and urinogenital, that is, one more is a stomach, simply called as a gastrointestinal tract. These all passages which are covered by the mucus. And main important thing is that the sticky nature of the mucus is ready to trap the microbes which are trying to enter into the body. So that these two come under physical barriers. And one more is physiological barriers, which includes saliva in the mouth, second one HCl in the stomach, and third one is tear in the eyes. The main important thing is that whatever food we are eating and water we are drinking, so it may be contaminated with some kind of microorganism or pathogens, isn't it? So that while eating, when we put the food material into our mouth, so definitely that food mix up with the saliva, isn't it? So in that saliva contain a major chemical or the enzyme called as alpha amylase, isn't it? So that alpha amylase can break the polysaccharide into maltose, that is regard to the digestive system. So regard to this immunity, that saliva contain one more chemical called as lysozyme. Here I mentioned here, that is lysozyme. This lysozyme is also called as anti antibacterial chemical. Note it, antibacterial chemical. So that chemical can kill the microbes which are present in the food. So that is what saliva. Second one is acid or HCl. See, when any microorganisms which are escaped from the mouth, that is saliva, that enter into the stomach. So in the stomach, our gastric cells, simply called as oxyntic cells or parietal cells, so those cells are ready to secrete the HCl or acid, that is called as hydrochloric acid at pH 1.8, isn't it? So that pH is ready to kill or destroy those microorganisms. And next, when we expose to the environment, most of the organisms which are present in the atmosphere, they may enter into our eyes. So that time our eyes ready to secrete the tears, by means of lacrimal gland. So that tear also contain the same chemical, that is lysozyme, simply called as antibactericidal chemical or antibacterial chemical. So that chemical can destroy those microorganisms which are present in our eyes. I hope you understand. Next, cellular barriers. Here the cellular barriers refers to, in our body, the cells acts as a barriers. Cells acts as a barriers called as cellular barriers. So what happens here is that, so our blood contain many cells like RBCs, WBCs, platelets, isn't it? So in that, particularly leukocytes or WBCs play a very important role in the immunity or immune system. See, blood has leukocytes, simply called as WBCs, such as polymorphonuclear leukocytes, also called as neutrophils. Note it, polymorphonuclear leukocytes, also called as neutrophils, monocytes, natural killer cells, and tissues contain macrophages, largest cell in the body. So macrophages, these all can destroy or phagocytose the microbes. There the word phagocytose refers to, they are going to neutralize the antigen, they are going to neutralize the pathogen, they are going to neutralize the microorganism, is considered as phagocytose. I hope you understand. So here the cells are going to act as a barrier. Those cells are polymorphonuclear leukocytes, also called as neutrophils, then monocytes, natural killer cells. These all are ready to kill or neutralize the microorganism which are entered into the blood or body. This is what cellular barriers. And last one is cytokine barrier. The word cytokine refers to the chemical which is secreted by the cells. The chemical which is secreted by the immunological cells or immune cells are called as cytokine. So in that, a more important word, often it is going to ask in the examination, that is interferon. So the special protein called as interferon, which is secreted by specifically virus infected cell or viral infected cell that prevent the further spread of viral infection. It means that in a particular area of the body, if any particular cell is infected by the virus, it's called as viral infected cell or virus infected cell. So that time, that particular viral infected cell can secrete a special protein called as interferon. So that interferon will prevent the further viral infection in that particular area. It means that whenever the interferon is going to secrete in the body, it is understood that the neighboring cells can be escaped from that area. Clear this? That called as interferon, also come under cytokine barrier. Clear? One more cytokine barrier is there, that is called as lymphokines. Called as lymphokines. So that lymphokine is secreted by the T lymphocyte. It is also ready to kill the antigen or pathogen, called as lymphokine. Next, acquired immunity or specific immunity. So the name itself indicating the meaning, acquired immunity. It means that we will develop this immunity only after the birth. Called as acquired immunity and specific immunity. Here the word specific immunity refers to, it is very specific in its action. I hope you understand. So called as specific immunity. One thing is, it is going to, we are going to develop it by birth, after the birth, and specific means it is specific in its action. So it means that any organism which is trying to enter into our body and ready to cause disease means that time it is concerned with the specific, whether it is a bacteria, whether it is a virus, whether it is a protozoan, that kind of thing. That is, it is going to prevent that entry in terms of concern. That is, particularly it is going to prevent that particular organism. Hence, it is considered as specific immunity. Next. As I told you, it is acquired, which means that it is produced in response to an encounter. The word encounter refers to infection or infected. So, in response to an encounter with a pathogen based on memory of the body. Very important, memory of the body. It means that memory of the body refers to immune system. Body refers to immune system. So that earlier if you infected or encountered by the pathogen, it means that that pathogen is remembered by our body. Our body refers to that pathogen remembered by our immune system. That particular pathogen is remembered by our immune system. So called as acquired immunity. I hope you understand. Once again, it is acquired means developed after the birth, which means that it is produced in response to an encounter or infection with the pathogen based on the memory of our immune system, and it is pathogen specific. The word pathogen specific, hence called as specific immunity, hence the name. Next, when a pathogen for the first time, very important word, when any pathogen or any antigen pathogen for the first time infects a person or any individual. Say for example, now a particular pathogen entered into my body. So that time what happens? My immune system can generate low intensity immune response. Low intensity refers to it is going to produce antibodies or some kind of cytokine barrier, no doubt, but it will take a little bit time. So called as low intensity. I hope you understand. So when a pathogen for the first time entered into or infects a person, low intensity immune response is generated. The word low intensity immune response refers to the body or the immune system is going to produce the antibodies in a low rate. Low rate means it takes a little bit time. So it is generated. So that is called as primary response. Very important word. Primary response means our immune system is going to produce the antibodies in a low rate for the first time. When the particular pathogen entered into the body first time, that time our immune system is going to produce antibodies in a slow rate, that is low intensity. Clear? That is considered as primary response. Next, very important, when the same pathogen, very important one, first time that pathogen, let's say for example X pathogen entered into the person body, that time the person's immune system is going to produce the antibodies in a low rate, or he is going to respond low intensity of immune system. Clear this? So after that the same X pathogen, when the same that is X pathogen attacks again one more time later, clear, attacks again, the intensified immune response. The word intensified refers to in a rapid rate, in a massive rate. Clear? So rapidly the immune system is generated. That is, immune response is generated. It means immediately it is going to produce the antibodies. Clear? Immediately. Clear? So thereby preventing the occurrence of disease, going to prevent the disease by producing the massive rate of antibodies, so called as secondary response. Clear? So first time the antibodies are going to produce in a low rate, low intensity, but second time the body is going to produce, the body refers to immune system is going to produce the antibodies in highest rate. Why? Because of the memory of the immune system. Clear? So first time when that antigen or pathogen entered into the body, our immune cells are going to remember that pathogen. So for that reason, in second attack or in second time, our immune cells, that is the memory cells, are going to produce the antibodies immediately and in a highest rate. So it is going to prevent the occurrence of disease, called as secondary response. Primary response, secondary response. It is possible because of, clear? Why it is? Because of the memory of the body, the memory of the immune system in first encounter, in first infection. I hope you understand. Clear? First time it is going to take little bit extra time. Clear? Later same antigen attacks second time. That time the body in first encounter our immune cells are going to remember that pathogen. So for that reason it is going to produce the antibodies in highest rate and immediately, so called a secondary response. Next, acquired immunity, which includes primary and secondary immune response, involves two cells. Clear? So this all mechanism is going to take place by two important cells. Those cells are B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, as we already discussed in first year. So B lymphocytes, that is generation of WBCs which are of two types. One is granulocytes, second one is agranulocytes. In case of agranulocytes, again there are two cells. One is monocytes and lymphocytes. In the lymphocyte, again two. One is T lymphocyte and B lymphocytes. Clear? So these two play a very important role in the immune system. Next comes B lymphocytes. B lymphocytes means the cells which are formed by the bone marrow. Do remember the word B lymphocytes means those cells are matured or born, or they are going to form by the bone marrow. Hence they are considered as B lymphocytes. So these secrete. The B lymphocytes secrete the proteins called the B lymphocytes secrete proteins called as antibodies in response to pathogens. Clear? So when any pathogen entered into the body, in response the B lymphocytes are going to secrete a kind of specialized proteins called as antibodies. Clear? In response to that particular pathogen. So and into the blood, and they fight with the pathogens. Clear? Very simple. When any particular pathogen entered into the body, in response to that antigen or pathogen, our B lymphocytes are going to produce antibodies. Those antibodies are specialized proteins in our body. So those antibodies fight with those pathogen and they are going to kill that pathogen. So this is what the B lymphocytes. Next, antibodies are specialized proteins with 4 peptides. As you know that peptide means a long chain of amino acids. So that antibodies are made of 4 peptides. Those 4 are, out of 4 chains, 2 are considered as light chains and 2 are heavy chains. Do remember, you can take any antibody structure. That antibody structure is made up of 4 peptides, that is 4 polypeptide chains. In that, 2 are light chains and 2 are heavy chains. Clear? So hence it is denoted by H2L2 cartoon. H2L2 cartoon. Cartoon refers to a diagrammatic representation or a picture. So H2L2 means H refers to heavy, 2 heavy chains, L refers to light, 2 light chains. Clear this? Next, the examples of antibodies. Clear? How many types of antibodies are there in our body? So IgM, IgE, IgG, IgA, IgD. So that how to remember? A trick. Mega D. The word mega D refers to IgM, IgE, IgG, IgA, IgD. It is a small word to remember the antibodies. So here the word Ig refers to immunoglobulin. Do remember, Ig refers to immunoglobulin. Globulin means proteins. The proteins play an important role in the immune system, are called as immunoglobulin. Once again, I stands for immuno, G stands for globulin. Globulin refers to protein. So those proteins which are playing a very important role in the immune system is called as immunoglobulin. The name of the antibody is M, that is immunoglobulin M. M stands for mu. Do remember, IgM, immunoglobulin M. M stands for mu. Then IgE, immunoglobulin E. E stands for epsilon. IgG, I, immunoglobulin, G stands for gamma. Then IgA, immunoglobulin alpha. Then D, immunoglobulin delta. Do remember, this is what the name. IgM, mu, epsilon, gamma, alpha, then delta. Clear? So our examples of the antibodies, they generate, these all antibodies can generate humoral immunity. Very important word, humoral immunity. The word humoral immunity refers to they are going to secrete in the blood. As you know that blood is considered as a humor, so that these antibodies are present in the blood, hence they are called as humoral immune, or their response is considered as humoral immune response. Do remember, humoral immune response found in blood or antibody mediated immunity. They bring antibody mediated immunity. Clear? So antibody mediated immunity refers to those B lymphocytes never ever act on pathogen. In presence of pathogen, these B lymphocytes are ready to secrete, they are ready to produce antibodies. They are ready to secrete antibodies. So those antibodies are going to neutralize or kill the pathogen. So for that reason, this immune response is called as antibody mediated immunity. Antibody mediated means it is going to bring the immunity in presence of antibody, so called as antibody mediated immunity. Next comes Ig. As I told you, I stands for immuno, G stands for globulin. Globulin means proteins. So those globulin proteins play a very important role in the immunity, so called as immunoglobulin. Next, also called as antibody. Very important word is all immunoglobulins are antibodies, but not all antibodies are immunoglobulins. Do remember. So all antibodies are immunoglobulins, but not all immunoglobulins are antibodies. Very clearly I am telling you people, all antibodies are immunoglobulins, but not all immunoglobulins are antibodies. Next, antibody. What mean by antibody? So antibody is a complex glycoprotein. The word glyco refers to carbohydrate protein. So it is a conjugated protein, refers to the protein part which is combined with the non-protein part, simply called as glycoprotein. So the antibodies are made of glycoproteins and are secreted by the B lymphocytes in response to an antigen. Very important word, in response to an antigen. It means that so those antibodies are never ever present in the body. They are not produced in the body. So they are going to produce in the body only in presence of pathogen or antigen. It means that so antibodies are the protein, they are going to secrete by the B lymphocytes only in presence of antigen. Clear? So simply they never ever secrete. So it is also called as agglutinin. Another name of the antibody is also called as agglutinin. And one more is antigen, also called as agglutinogen. I mean both are one and the same. So one word is antigen, also called as agglutinogen. So these are the proteinaceous substance which stimulates the production of antibodies. So it's one of the peculiarity of the antigen. It means that when any antigen enter into the body, in response to that antigen, the B lymphocytes are going to secrete antibodies. I hope you understand. So as I told you, antibodies are the glycoproteins, they are going to secrete in presence of antigen. So these antigens enter into the body, or you can administrate into the body. So in response to that antigen, the antibodies are going to produce. Clear? So there is a correlation between this antibody and antigen. So antibodies are going to produce in presence of antigen, and antigens when enter into the body, it can stimulate the production of antibodies. Clear? Next. So this is what the structure of antibody. So you can see here, this one is considered as light heavy chain, and these two are simply considered as light chain. And very important thing is that these two heavy chains are held together by disulfide bonds. You can see here, disulfide bonds. Same time, this heavy chain and light chain, these two are also held together by disulfides. Clear this? Here you can see the dots. So that dot refers to disulfide bonds, which play a very important role in the joining of this light chain and heavy chain. Clear? At the same time, this area is considered as antigen binding site. So what I am telling is that, so during antigen antibody reaction, the word antigen antibody reaction refers to when any antigen entered into the body, so that particular antigen is attacked by the antibody, isn't it? So where that antibody is going to bind with the antigen, that area is considered as antigen binding site. The name itself indicating the meaning, antigen binding site. It means this particular area is responsible to hold the antigen, hence called as antigen binding site. So this is what? Two antigen binding sites called as avidity. Very important word, avidity. Avidity refers to number of, the capacity of the antibody to hold the antigen is called as avidity. How many, single antibody, how many antigens it can hold is called as avidity. So one single antibody can hold two antigens. So the avidity of this antibody is 2. So one is here and second one is here. Same time, so you can see here variable region on the heavy chain. Variable region on the heavy chain and variable region on the light chain. Here the word variable refers to when the antibody is going to hold the antigen, that time this area, that is variable region on the heavy chain, variable region on the light chain. So these two area are going to change their shape according to the shape of antigen. Getting my point? Once again, so when during antigen antibody reaction, so this particular place is responsible, particular site is responsible to hold antigen, so that during that time this place is going to change its shape according to the shape of the antigen. It is going to change its shape. So called as variable region refers to it is oftenly can change its shape according to the shape of antigen. Hence called as variable region on the heavy chain, variable region on the light chain. Clear? Next, constant region on light chain, constant region on heavy chain. It means that it never ever change its shape. So called as constant region. Very simple. So it is going to change its shape according to the shape of antigen and it never changes. So called as constant region. I hope you understand. Clear? Next, each antibody has 4 peptide chains. That is, as I told you, that is H2L2, 2 heavy chains, 2 light chains. So 2 small chains called as light chains and 2 long chains called as heavy chains. Next, both chains are held together by disulfide bonds. Next, such antibody is represented by H2L2 cartoon, 2 heavy chains, 2 light chain cartoon. Those 5 types of antibodies are found in blood. They are always present in the blood. So called as humoral immune response. Humoral immunity, that response is considered as humoral immune response. These antibodies bring antibody mediated immunity, that is AMI, antibody mediated immunity or humoral immunity. Very simple, humoral refers to those antibodies present in the blood and they bring immunity in presence of, they bring immunity in presence of antibodies. So called as antibody mediated immunity or humoral immunity. The word humoral immunity refers to those antibodies are present in the blood. I hope you understand. So we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you.